This is video 6. Where do I go to find out information about each subject? So you'll have your prospectus, that's the subject information for Year 11-22 booklet, and in it, it outlines all the courses we're offering here at Mulwaree High School next year. It'll give a summary of what that course is, the topics that you will study, some of the activities you will do, whether it has a mandatory work placement component, whether it has a major project, and it'll tell you whether that course is a board developed course, a category A, a category B, whether it's a board endorsed course, whether it's a category C. That is really lots of information there, and that would be your first port of call to find out information about those subjects. The next place is to talk to people who are teaching that subject or are studying that subject now. So current Year 11 and 12, have a chat to them. They'll give you the rundown of what they like about the course, what they don't. Have a good chat to them about what sort of things you can do in that course. And your teachers who teach those subjects, they love those subjects. They're experts in those subjects. Have a chat to them about what that course can do for you and where it can take you, and whether then you can make up your mind whether that's something you would like to choose in your subject selections. I've also put up the NESA syllabuses, so A to Z, you can go through and have a look online really deeply into those courses and see the outcomes that they are requiring of you and that you'll be working towards, and the units that you will do in there. Okay, what if you need to choose a particular subject to get into your career when you leave high school? First thing to do is to talk to people in those jobs, in those industries, and ask them what are the subjects and skills that will be useful in that job, and ask them about the qualifications that you will need to get that job. Second place I'd like to talk about for you to look for information about whether or not you need to study a particular subject for a job or for an industry is the school subscription to Job Jump. Now, all of you 10 have registered for this. They have access to it through the Careers Google Classroom. It also gives families a registration to Job Jump as well. So see your student, they will tell you the password and how to register for yourself. In there, in the what subject should I take section, it has a heap of jobs. Click on the job and it'll tell you in there, all right, to do that particular job, you need to study, or I recommend you study this particular subject in Year 11 and 12. So it might be things like, if you're going to be a builder, we're going to have a level of maths, because if you don't, well, the thing that you're building is not going to be very strong. It's probably going to fall down. It might not have a particular subject that is required for that industry, and that's great, but then you will know. It might say, yes, I want to go and do a Bachelor of Engineering at university, and it'll say, well, you know what, you're going to need to study advanced maths, or you're going to need to study construction or something else like that. That's where you can find that information. The next place you can find out information about courses that you might need to choose in Year 11 and 12 is UAC, the University Admissions Centre. Now, in Term 2, all Year 10 students have access to the Steps to Uni for Year 10 students booklet. It is written for students who are thinking about going to university to help them make that subject selection. Okay, if I'm going into this particular course at university, does it have a prerequisite? Does it have subjects that I must study, or that I would recommend to study to help with that transition? They are in there. Now, if your student still hasn't got that booklet, they're up in the careers office, so please send them up there to get their copy. UAC also have 2 online resources to help people identify subjects that they are recommended or required to study in 11 and 12 to get into those courses and degrees at university, and that is Subject Compass and Find a Course. Students have access to both of those in their Careers Google Classroom. Industry associations and training organisations, these guys have a wealth of information about what their future employees, what their future students need and can do to go into those industries or courses. Go to their home websites and you can identify what skills they need, what qualifications they need, what they offered, and some of these may already be offered by an HSC course or have part of it in an HSC course. So for instance, on the screen there we have the Master Builders Association of New South Wales. If you study the VET Construction Pathways course here at high school, that is an articulation into a building apprenticeship when you leave school. Same with, if you go to the New South Wales Nurses and Midwives Association, because you're looking at working there, well, have a look at their website. They're probably going to tell you that things like biology and PDHPE are going to have some really useful learning before you go into that particular industry.